More than 27 million licensed drivers are on the road in California, and most of them have no idea that in 2026, a wave of new driving laws could quietly cost them thousands of dollars, suspend their licenses, or send surprise fines straight to their mailbox. Sounds dramatic? It is. Because these changes aren't small technical updates buried in legal documents. They directly affect your insurance rates, your car registration, your privacy, and even how you use your phone behind the wheel. Here's the scary part. Many of these laws won't come with warnings. No flashing alerts, no grace periods, just automated tickets, higher mandatory coverage, new fees for electric vehicles, and stricter enforcement powered by AI traffic cameras. One simple mistake, something you've done 100 times before, could suddenly become a costly violation. So the real question is, are you prepared? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear could save you money, stress, and a major legal headache in 2026. Number 1. Higher minimum auto insurance requirements. Starting in 2026, California is raising its minimum auto insurance liability limits, and this isn't a small adjustment. For years, the required coverage level stayed relatively low compared to the real cost of accidents. But with medical bills and vehicle repair costs skyrocketing, lawmakers have decided the old limits simply aren't enough anymore. On paper, that sounds reasonable. In reality, it could mean a sharp increase in what you pay every single month. Here's what most drivers don't realize. When minimum coverage goes up, insurance companies don't just adjust policies quietly. They recalculate risk, update pricing models, and in many cases increase premiums across the board, even if you've never had an accident, even if you're a careful driver. If your current policy only meets the old minimum requirements, you may be automatically shifted to a higher coverage tier. And that could cost hundreds more per year. And it doesn't stop there. If you fail to update your coverage properly, you could face registration holds, penalties, or even license suspension for non compliance. Imagine finding out your policy is no longer valid after a minor accident. That's a nightmare no one wants. So, what can you do right now? First, call your insurance provider and ask exactly how your policy will change under the 2026 requirements. Second, shop around. Compare quotes before the law officially kicks in, because once everyone rushes to update, rates could climb even higher. And finally, consider increasing your coverage strategically, not just minimally. Sometimes paying slightly more now can protect you from massive out of pocket costs later. Most drivers will wait until it's too late. The smart ones will prepare early. If this helped you, drop a comment below with "I'm ready for 2026," so we know you're staying ahead of the game. We put serious effort into breaking this down for you. So take 1 second, hit subscribe, and join a community that refuses to be caught off guard. Number 2. Stricter distracted driving laws. Think checking your phone at a red light is harmless? In 2026, that small habit could become an expensive mistake. California is tightening its distracted driving enforcement, and officers, along with advanced camera systems, will be watching more closely than ever. The definition of hands free is becoming stricter, and simply holding your phone while driving, even if you're not texting, could result in fines and points on your license. Here's where it gets serious. Repeat violations may now carry heavier penalties, and points on your record can trigger insurance premium increases almost immediately. That quick glance at a notification, it could end up costing you hundreds more per year in higher insurance rates. And if AI-powered traffic enforcement systems capture the violation, you might not even realize you were caught until a ticket arrives in the mail. What surprises many drivers is that even using your phone for GPS can be risky if it's not properly mounted. Holding it in your hand while stopped in traffic, scrolling at a long red light, or adjusting music manually can all fall into violation territory. Enforcement isn't just about texting anymore, it's about any physical interaction with your device. So, what should you do? Invest in a secure dashboard or windshield mount. Set your navigation and playlist before you start driving. Use voice commands whenever possible. And most importantly, build the habit of keeping your phone completely out of reach while the car is in motion. One small behavior change today can prevent major financial consequences tomorrow. The reality is simple. In 2026, undistracted driving won't just be dangerous, it'll be aggressively enforced. If you've ever checked your phone at a red light, comment "no more distractions" below. Let's be honest together. We put real effort into keeping you informed, so take 1 second to subscribe. It's just one click, but it helps us keep protecting drivers like you. Number 3. New road usage fees for EV drivers. For years, electric vehicle owners enjoyed a major advantage: no gas tax. While gasoline drivers paid taxes every time they filled up, EV drivers quietly skipped that extra cost. But in 2026, that gap begins to close. California is expanding road usage fee programs designed to charge drivers based on how many miles they drive, not how much fuel they buy. And yes, that directly impacts EV owners. Here's the logic behind it. Gas taxes help fund road repairs, highways, and infrastructure projects. As more drivers switch to electric vehicles, the state collects less fuel tax revenue. So lawmakers are shifting toward a mileage-based system to make up the difference. On the surface, it sounds fair, but for high mileage drivers, commuters, rideshare drivers, delivery workers, this could mean hundreds of dollars in new annual fees. What many EV owners don't realize is that some programs may require mileage tracking through annual odometer reporting or digital monitoring devices. That raises two concerns: cost and privacy. If you're driving long distances daily, your yearly expense could climb quickly. And if digital tracking becomes mandatory in certain cases, drivers will need to understand exactly what data is being collected. So, how do you prepare? Start tracking your yearly mileage now. Estimate what a per mile fee would cost you. If you're considering buying an EV, factor this into your long-term ownership budget and stay informed about whether your county requires opt-in participation or automatic enrollment. The era of the EV tax advantage is shifting. These smart drivers will adjust before the bills arrive. If you drive an EV or plan to, comment EV reality check below so we know who this affects most. We put serious work into breaking this down clearly, so hit subscribe. It's one click for you, but it keeps this channel running strong. Number 4. AI traffic cameras are expanding. Imagine getting a speeding ticket in the mail, but you never saw a police officer. No flashing lights, no siren, no warning, just a photo of your car and a fine attached. In 2026, California is expanding the use of AI-powered traffic enforcement cameras, and this could completely change how drivers experience law enforcement on the road. These aren't the old red light cameras you may remember. Modern systems use advanced image recognition and speed detection technology to monitor intersections and high-risk roadways automatically. They can detect speeding, red light violations, illegal turns, and sometimes even failure to yield. And because they operate 24/7, there's no off hour where enforcement slows down. Here's what makes this shift so significant: automated enforcement removes human discretion. A police officer might give you a warning, a camera won't. If you're even slightly over the posted speed limit, especially in newly designated enforcement zones, a citation could be issued automatically. That means more consistent ticketing and potentially more drivers caught off guard. Insurance companies also pay attention to moving violations. One camera issued ticket could increase your premium at renewal time. So it's not just about the fine, it's the long term financial impact. How do you protect yourself? Start using cruise control more consistently. Pay closer attention to posted speed limits, especially in urban areas and school zones. And assume that busy intersections may now have silent monitoring systems in place. And the days of relying on visible patrol cars as your only warning system are fading. In 2026, the cameras may be watching even when you don't see them. If you've ever been surprised by a ticket, comment "caught off guard" below. Let's see how common this really is. We put real effort into keeping you ahead of these changes, so tap subscribe. It's one simple click that helps us keep exposing what drivers need to know. Number 5. Catalytic converter regulations tighten. Catalytic converter theft has exploded over the past few years, costing drivers thousands in repairs and long waits for replacement parts. In response, California is introducing stricter catalytic converter regulations in 2026. And while the goal is to reduce theft, everyday drivers will also feel the impact. Under the updated rules, catalytic converters must meet tighter identification and sales tracking requirements. Many will need to carry permanent markings or serial identification linked to the vehicle. Repair shops and resellers will face stricter documentation standards, and purchasing or installing non compliant parts could create serious legal and registration issues. That means if your converter is replaced with an unverified or improperly documented unit, you could run into problems when renewing your registration or passing emissions tests. Here's what makes this tricky. Many drivers don't even know what kind of catalytic converter is currently installed on their vehicle. If you've had repairs done in the past, especially after theft, it's critical to verify that the replacement part meets state standards. Otherwise, you could end up paying twice, once for the repair and again to fix compliance issues later. The good news? There are simple steps to protect yourself. Always use licensed repair shops. Ask for written documentation confirming the converter meets California regulations. Keep receipts and compliance paperwork in your vehicle records. If your car is parked outdoors frequently, consider installing anti-theft protective shields as an added precaution. And these new rules are designed to fight crime. But drivers who ignore them could unintentionally put themselves at risk. In 2026, compliance won't just be recommended, it'll be essential. If you've ever dealt with catalytic converter theft, comment "converter nightmare" below. Your story might help other drivers prepare. We invest real time researching this for you, so take 1 second to hit subscribe. One click for you makes a huge difference for us. Number 6. Your car is collecting more data than you think. Here's something most drivers don't realize. Modern vehicles are basically computers on wheels. They track speed, braking patterns, location data, maintenance alerts, and sometimes even driving behavior. In 2026, New regulations could expand how certain vehicle data is reported, stored, or shared, especially when it comes to insurance verification, emissions compliance, and safety monitoring. This doesn't mean someone is secretly watching your every move, but it does mean the data your car already collects may play a bigger role in legal and insurance processes. Telematic systems, the technology that monitors driving activity, are becoming more integrated into state and insurance frameworks. If you're enrolled in a usage based insurance program, your driving habits could directly affect your premium. Hard braking, rapid acceleration, or frequent late night driving might increase costs. Privacy is where many drivers grow concerned. What information is stored? Who has access? How long is it kept? While regulations aim to balance safety and consumer protection, the responsibility still falls on drivers to understand their vehicle's settings and permissions. So, what can you do right now? First, check your vehicle's infotainment system or owner's manual to understand what data is being collected. Second, review any insurance apps connected to your driving activity. If you're uncomfortable with certain monitoring programs, ask your insurer about alternative policy options. And if you're shopping for a new car, I compare privacy features just like you would fuel efficiency or safety ratings. The road ahead isn't just about traffic laws, it's about digital awareness. In 2026, understanding your vehicle's data may be just as important as knowing the speed limit. If you didn't know your car tracks this much data, comment data walk-up below. We want to see who's surprised. We put serious effort into uncovering what most drivers miss. So tap subscribe. It's one click that helps us keep exposing the fine print. Number 7. Stricter smog and emissions testing. If you drive an older vehicle, 2026 could bring an expensive surprise. California is moving towards stricter smog and emissions testing standards, especially in areas with ongoing air quality concerns. While the goal is cleaner air, the financial impact could hit drivers who rely on aging cars the hardest. Here's what's changing. Emissions thresholds are tightening and testing procedures are becoming more precise. That means vehicles that barely passed in previous years might now fail under updated standards. Even minor engine issues like a worn oxygen sensor, aging catalytic converter, or small exhaust leak could trigger a failed test. And without passing smog, you won't be able to renew your vehicle registration. This creates a serious problem for families on tight budgets. Repairs linked to emission systems can cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And unlike cosmetic issues, these repairs aren't optional if you want to legally stay on the road. So, how can you prepare? Don't wait until registration renewal month. Schedule a pre smog inspection early to identify potential problems before you're under deadline pressure. Keep up with regular maintenance, oil changes, spark plugs, air filters, because a well maintained engine runs cleaner. If your check engine light turns on, don't ignore it. Addressing small issues early can prevent larger repair bills later. Also, research whether your area offers financial assistance programs for emissions related repairs. Some counties provide limited support for qualifying drivers. The bottom line? In 2026, passing smog may require more than luck. It will require preparation. If you're driving a car over 8 years old, comment smog survivor below. Let's see how many of us are affected. We put real work into breaking this down clearly. So take 1 second to subscribe. It's just one click, but it keeps this channel going strong. Number 8. Expanded move over law. Most drivers know they're supposed to slow down and move over for police cars. But in 2026, California is expanding its move over law, and many drivers don't realize how much broader the protection is becoming. This update now applies to a wider range of roadside vehicles, including tow trucks, utility service vehicles, highway maintenance crews, and other emergency responders displaying flashing lights. Here's why this matters. Failing to move over or significantly slow down when approaching these vehicles could result in steep fines and points on your license. And enforcement is expected to increase, especially in high traffic areas and construction zones. What used to be a quick pass in the next lane could now be considered a violation if you don't create enough space. Picture this: you're driving on the freeway, traffic is moderate, and you see flashing amber lights ahead. In the past, some drivers might have stayed in their lane and simply reduced speed slightly. Under stricter enforcement, that may not be enough. If it's safe to change lanes, you're expected to do so. If you can't move over safely, you must slow down significantly. The purpose behind this law is safety. Roadside workers face serious risks every day from passing vehicles, but the financial risk now extends to drivers who aren't paying attention. To protect yourself, build the habit now. Anytime you see flashing lights on the shoulder, red, blue, or amber, immediately check your mirrors and prepare to move over. Make it automatic. Teach new drivers in your household the same rule. In 2026, hesitation could turn into a citation. Awareness will be your best defense. If you didn't realize tow trucks were included too, comment "move over" means everyone below. We put serious effort into researching these updates, so tap subscribe. One quick click helps us keep drivers informed and protected. Number 9. New rules for rideshare and delivery drivers. If you drive for Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, or any delivery platform, 2026 could bring stricter oversight that directly affects your income. California is expected to tighten insurance verification, background checks, and documentation requirements for gig drivers. And platforms may respond by increasing account audits and compliance reviews. Here's why this matters. Many rideshare and delivery drivers operate using personal insurance policies with special endorsements. But as minimum liability requirements rise statewide, gig drivers may be required to carry higher coverage limits while actively working. If your documentation doesn't match the updated standards, platforms could temporarily suspend your account until everything is verified. And it's not just insurance. There may be stricter vehicle inspection standards, more frequent verification of registration status, and tighter checks on driver eligibility. That means something as simple as an expired registration or outdated insurance card could suddenly pause your ability to earn. For drivers who rely on gig work as primary income, even a short suspension can create serious financial stress. The key is preparation. Review your insurance policy now and confirm it meets commercial or rideshare activity requirements. Keep digital and printed copies of all documentation easily accessible. Set reminders for registration renewal dates well in advance. Also, monitor platform emails carefully. Companies often send compliance updates months before enforcement begins, but many drivers overlook those notifications. And the flexibility of gig driving has always been its biggest advantage. In 2026, staying organized and proactive will be what keeps that flexibility intact. Waiting until there's a problem could cost you valuable earning time. If you're a rideshare or delivery driver, comment Gig Ready 2026 below. We want to know who's preparing early. We spend hours researching this to protect your income, so hit subscribe. It's just one click, but it helps us keep delivering valuable updates. Number 10. Real ID and license renewal changes. By 2026, California is expected to tighten enforcement around real ID compliance and driver's license renewals, and this could create unexpected delays for millions of drivers. While Real ID has been discussed for years, enforcement phases are becoming stricter, especially when it comes to domestic air travel and federal building access. If your license isn't compliant, you may find yourself turned away at the airport. But it doesn't stop there. Renewal processes may require additional identity verification, updated documentation, or even in person appointments in certain cases. That means longer DMV wait times and limited appointment availability, especially as deadlines approach and last minute applicants flood the system. Here's the real risk. Many drivers assume their license is valid simply because it has not expired yet. But if your renewal date overlaps with updated requirements, you could face processing delays that temporarily leave you without a valid ID. That can affect travel plans, rental car bookings, and even certain employment verifications. So, what should you do right now? First, check whether your current license is Real ID compliant. Look for the identifying mark on your card. If you're unsure, verify your status through official DMV resources. Second, gather your required documents early, such as proof of identity and residency, so you're not scrambling at the last minute. And finally, book renewal appointments well in advance of your expiration date. In 2026, waiting until the deadline could cost you time, money, and travel plans. The smartest move is to handle it early before the rush begins. If you've been putting off checking your license status, comment Real ID check below. Let's make it official today. We put real effort into protecting you from last minute stress. So tap subscribe. It's one click for you, but it keeps this channel running strong. Here's the truth. None of these laws are random. They're part of a bigger shift happening across California. Stricter enforcement, higher financial responsibility, smarter technology, and less room for I didn't know. And that's exactly why millions of drivers could get caught off guard. Think about it. Higher insurance minimums could quietly raise your monthly bill. AI traffic cameras could issue tickets without warning. EV road usage fees could reshape the cost of owning an electric vehicle. Stricter smog testing could force unexpected repairs. And something as simple as forgetting to move over or update your license could turn into a fine, suspension, or major inconvenience. But here's the empowering part. Now you know. Most people won't prepare. They'll wait until the letter shows up in the mail, until their premium jumps, until their registration gets delayed, until their account gets suspended. The difference between panic and peace of mind in 2026 will come down to one thing: awareness followed by action. So take a few minutes this week. Review your insurance, check your license status, track your mileage, schedule maintenance early. Small steps today can prevent big financial stress tomorrow. The road ahead is changing, technology is evolving, enforcement is increasing, but drivers who stay informed stay protected. And if you've watched this far, you're already ahead of millions. 2026 is coming fast. The only question is, will you be ready?